Welcome to today's video. I thought I would share with you today my relationship with yoga, my yoga journey, and yeah, so here we go. I suppose about 2 years ago, my sister phoned me up and she said to me, "How do you fancy doing some yoga?" She'd done a little bit of it before, I'd done none of it at all. I don't think I really even understood what yoga was, but I'm the kind of person who's up for a challenge, up to try something new. So I said to her, "Absolutely, let's go for it." And she got it through like a local deals page, so you could get, I think it was something like 12 sessions for £20, which was really cheap, because as it turns out, the sessions thereafter, once we'd finished, were something like £15 per session, and that's some reason I didn't carry on. But anyway, I'll get to that. So it was a local yoga studio called Red Hot Yoga, and we turned up for the first session. My sister had booked us both in, and I went in there. I had nothing at all. I just literally think maybe just had a towel. I didn't even take a big enough towel. It was just like a hand towel, because I didn't know what I was doing. And we went in there and we followed it up to the top floor, and just a handful of people waiting around. And we had to sign like the waivers and bits and pieces, and it got a bit confusing because I wasn't quite sure what was about to happen. Having never done it before, I couldn't touch my toes. I wasn't very flexible. I was kind of awkward and just all over the place. Anyway, I walked into this room, and a couple of guys there started kind of taking basically their clothes off, and then they were left standing just their boxer shorts. And I thought, this is a bit peculiar. What's going on here? And there was sort of two ladies in the room as well who were wearing not a lot of gear either, but it was kind of more like I suppose like gym clothes, a little pair of shorts and a training top. And of course they unrolled their mats, and I didn't have a mat, so I kind of borrowed one of the ones they had there. And then she starts introducing the session, and it is a hot yoga session. Oh, wow. I was also stood underneath the hot air vent, hadn't been told about that. So I was in a bad way. It was incredibly hot. I didn't really have any idea what I was doing. All of the moves were completely new to me, and I obviously didn't know what the names meant. My sister actually left after like 20 minutes because we didn't even have any water. We were completely underprepared for it all. So she left and she didn't come back. And of course I'm in the room thinking, what's happened to her? But I stuck with it and I saw the session through. And I was just absolutely dripping. I was also wearing the wrong clothes, of course, because I wore a t-shirt which was kind of a bit too thick, I suppose, all over the place. Anyway, so that was my introduction to yoga. It was quite fun, and we still talk about it today. And then I signed up for a number of other sessions, which were about an hour to an hour and a half long, which weren't in there. That was the only time I did a hot yoga session, and we just did a lot of sort of strength work. And of course, you turn up to sessions, there's a few people at the front who will warm you up with a headstand, and good luck to them. That's brilliant. I fell over a lot. I made myself look a bit stupid. I always stood at the back next to my sister. I went to one or two yoga sessions by myself, which was kind of a big thing for me. I do remember vividly driving there and getting to the car park and just thinking, you could just go home now and just pretend you went. But I didn't. I went and saw it through. I only had that moment of doubt just because I knew I wasn't very good at it. And I think because I'd only had a couple of sessions, I was just a bit nervous about that. But I soon got over that. I went to a really amazing session, which is basically like a relaxation session. You lay there and you have like the kind of a thick blanket, and they have calming music. And I think we pretty much just fell asleep for an hour and a half. It was brilliant. And then, after those free sessions or cheaper sessions, I just didn't go anymore to classes, but I started doing it at home. And the reason I'm laying on the floor is basically all you need is just get yourself a mat. And this is quite a thick mat, actually. You can see the thickness there, just because it's slightly more comfortable for me. So that's why I have that. You don't have to have one that thick. You can have a real thin one. No, I don't live up a mountain. I don't have a spare room that looks out onto the landscape. It's just literally my front room where I've got some space. I move some things out of the way, just lay it down on the carpet, t-shirt, shorts, ready to roll. So this was before I started running, by the way, this yoga. And then I decided that when I was doing my yoga, my strength training, I'd incorporate it into marathon training, which is what I did. So once a week I was doing yoga. And I will link the channel below to the yoga channel that I always religiously use. I think she's the best, and you can search her channel as well for specific focuses. So, for example, today what I'm actually going to do is work on the back, because I noticed recently that, especially this week, I think I've been sleeping a bit awkwardly and it just didn't feel right. My back's a bit a bit kind of a bit stiff, and it just needs a bit of a loosen up. So I'm going to be focusing on that. What I do is I just lay down here or kneel or whatever I need to do to get into the position, and then I just watch it on my computer, which is kind of up on the table over there. So it's pretty basic. It's nothing special. The setup can be done by anybody as long as you've got visual. I mean, you can actually also do it on your phone, but normally I record what you're about to see, which will be a time lapse. I've always done it on my phone because it's got that feature. So I just do that, and then I just post it after this little bit here. But what I wanted to mention was basically that in terms of the yoga, I think it's really, really benefited me. I'm far more flexible, far more mobile. I do believe it has built strength. I haven't done it as much. So this training block, I've not actually done it really at all in the last few weeks, and I'm feeling that. So what I'm going to do is try and get back into doing it twice a week. The reason why I stopped was just because this new training block was a little bit more intense, and what I do want to do is add extra things in that could, just cause me more problems. Yes, the yoga is really good for kind of freeing up and being able to kind of be more flexible with your muscles, but at the same time, if you've not done it for a while, it can be sore. Can be sore the next day because you are using muscle groups that you haven't used before. Anyway, I'm chatting for far too long. I'm going to post the link below, as I said. It's Yoga with Adriene on YouTube. You can just type it in as well. She's really cool. Follow on Instagram if you want to. And let's get to the yoga session. I will also link the specific video that I've used. And so my relationship with yoga is that I think it's really awesome. I think you should definitely give it a go. Don't be frightened. Don't be scared. Don't be afraid of all those things. I would argue the point that actually you'll get a lot more out of going to a class, because it's far too easy when you haven't got anything booked in to just not do it if you're that way inclined. Life gets in the way. Whereas if you've got a class, and especially if you're paying like £15 a go, you're definitely going to turn up. So anyway, check out the time lapse, and I will see you soon. So there you have it, a session over. Now, it wasn't the easiest session in the world. I was finding it a little bit tricky at times. I was following the instructions, and I was doing what was right for me. I was trying to get into the poses as best I could, but also realizing that everybody's an individual, everybody's different. So it's just taking that time for yourself, really. So that was half an hour, and it's half an hour in the day that you perhaps wouldn't normally take for yourself. So it's just nice to have that moment. And to just be kind of thankful for what you have, and to be reflective or not, think of something, think of nothing. But during that time as well, if anybody's interested, that's normally the time where I can get my heart rate down to its lowest. My resting heart rate is normally very low anyway. I'm pretty good. But I just did notice that as I was doing one of the motions, I glanced over my watch, and the heart rate, came down nice and low. It was just great. It was really, really great. Anyway, that just kind of sums up yoga and me today. Hopefully you found it of some interest, some value. Let me know in the comments below if one, you do yoga, and two, if you have any other recommendations for channels on YouTube that you find particularly useful when you are taking part in yoga. Hope you have a great day, and I will check in with you tomorrow.